Many people today are chasing a life of ease. They want flexibility, they want freedom, they want comfort. But in chasing a life of ease, many people fall into the trap of anything goes kind of lifestyle. They wake up anytime they want, they respond anyhow, they walk when they feel convenient, and they tolerate bad behaviors that they could have corrected. On the surface, it looks nice because they are very flexible. But in reality, it creates frustration. Why? Because wherever anything goes, nothing grows. So many people today are busy and are not advancing. They are moving, but they are not progressing. They are expending energy, but they are not gaining stability. So today, I want us to discuss two important things. The first one is the signs that show you that you lack stability in your life. And then the second part, it will tell you how you can build sustainable stability to help you in your future and in your life. So let's go with the first one. Before you fix anything, you must first of all recognize the symptoms that it has. So here are 5 signs that shows you that you lack stability in your life. The first one is persistent frustration. Now, frustration is often a signal that something in your environment is not aligned with your expectations. So, for example, you complain constantly about work and the deadlines that it comes with. Meanwhile, you don't have any work structure. You don't have any time you've created for work. You complain that people are eating into your time and are wasting your time. But for every time your phone rings, even when you're busy, you pick up the call and you get distracted from work. You complain that you are broke, but your spending is terrible. You spend money anyhow and there is no structure to your spending. You are complaining that you are not able to maintain a particular lifestyle. Meanwhile, the way you act is not supporting that lifestyle that you want to maintain. And it brings you frustration. And frustration appears because standard is absent. And when there is no defined structure, everything will become chaotic. Standard is what helps you to remove frustration from your life. The second sign that you are low on standard is boundary violation. So, if people frequently cross your boundaries, it may not actually be because of their bad behavior. It could actually be because you have not been able to set standard and execute them every day. For example, a friend constantly borrows money from you and don't return the money to you. Or your colleagues in the office, they don't work at you at every point. Or someone repeatedly disrespects you and you accept all that. You tolerate it, not because you like it, but just because you don't have clear standards that tell you, hey, something is wrong here. Standard sounds like, I will not give out monies that I am not ready to lose. I can't do that. Standard sounds like, I don't respond to non-urgent calls during work hours. And then, I don't expect you to disrespect me. I expect communication with you to always be respectful. That is having a standard. Because without standards, boundaries become suggestions and not rules that you live by. The third thing that you need to check to know if you're running low on standard is that you become a people pleaser. People pleasing often happens when your identity is built around what people would say, the approval of people, and not the standards that your life should be built around. For example, you agree to events that you don't even have time to attend. You say yes to take up schedules where your own schedule is already full. You overextend your life just to avoid disappointing people. At first, it will look as if you're being a kind person, but over time, it will bring you exhaustion. Why? Because life is controlled by others and not by the things that you want. Standards protect your energy. They allow you to say things like, I cannot commit right now, I'm sorry. It allows you to say no to certain things. It allows you to say, this thing doesn't align to my priorities, so I will not accept it. Now, when you live by standards, you are not being selfish. It is called self-respect. The fourth thing that you look out for that tells you that, hey, watch out, you might be low on standard, is that you have broken promises to yourself. Now, this is a very dangerous indicator. Why? Because When you break promises to yourself, it damages your self-trust. For example, you promised yourself that you're going to be waking up very early, but every time your alarm clock rings, you snooze it. You promised yourself that you're going to start exercising, but you've delayed it since January till now. You've not even done it once. You promised yourself that you will learn a new skill, but distractions here and there have taken over and you've not been able to do that. And eventually, you will stop believing in your own commitment. So when you say things, your subconscious tells you that you're not going to keep to it. And when self-trust is broken, confidence weakens. But that's where standard comes in, because it comes in to rebuild your self-trust, so that you say to yourself that whatever I commit to, I must have to execute. The fifth sign that your standard is on low or empty is that you have high stress environment. Constant stress often comes from unstructured environment. For example, you start the day without a plan. Then you have tasks in the office that pile up randomly. And then deadlines come to you suddenly. Is it time already? You don't know, simply because you didn't plan yourself. And every day feels like an emergency management time, simply because there was no plan in your life. Structure is what helps you to reduce stress, because when standards exist, things become predictable. Predictability is what builds the stability you want, and then stability creates peace in your life. Now we have gone through the 5 indicators that tells you that you need to work on your standards. You will now be asking, Oqui, how do I work to build my standard so that it is sustainable and it represents my future and it is also stable? Now, once you realize that standards are missing, the next thing you need to do is to begin to rebuild it intentionally. So I'm going to share with you 3 frameworks that would help you to rebuild your standards. The first one is awareness. You must have to identify the points of instability, because you cannot fix something that you have refused to observe. And you must have to ask yourself the practical questions. Where do I feel constantly frustrated in my life? Where do I feel repeatedly that people are crossing boundaries that I've set? Where do I notice that I keep breaking promises that I've made to myself? If you notice those places, you would see that it becomes very clear to you that you need to build your standard. For example, imagine that every morning you are rushing out in the morning. What it could be is because you do not have a structure for your sleep. And some other things. Maybe you realize that your income always fluctuates. Today you have money, the next day you don't have money. Maybe the issue is that you don't work consistently to make the money, or your spending pattern is very unpredictable. You must have to look out for those things, because awareness is what reveals your standards and tells you where standards are needed. Then the number 2 thing that you must have to do after you become aware is that you must have to decide. Decision is what is necessary. What are you deciding? You're deciding those things that are no longer acceptable in your life. Standards begin with a clear internal decision. That's how it begins. You must decide that you no longer will continue with certain things that are happening in your life. For example, I will no longer tolerate disrespectful communication, for instance. I will no longer delay important works until the last minute. I will no longer neglect my health. I need to take it seriously. Now, these decisions are powerful because it marks the end of your tolerance and marks the beginning of your conscious effort to set standards for yourself. Now, standards are born at the moment when you say enough is enough. And today is a good day for you to decide and say enough is enough. The third thing that you must have to do after you have created the awareness, you have made the decision, the third thing is that you must enforce that decision you have made. How? You must have to install structure and behaviors that align with what you want to achieve. This is where standard becomes real, because standards without structure remains intentions, and intentions, most times you don't carry them out. For instance, if you want stronger work discipline, you must have to create a fixed work hour, that between this time and this time, nobody disturbs you. You don't even take any call. You don't check social media, because it is your work time. If you want financial stability, then you must have to track your spending and install some spending habits, that if I spend to this amount, I'm not going to spend beyond it. That if my money comes in, this one is removed for safekeeping and for savings. Not for me to use it on a rainy day, because there's no rainy day in my life, but so that I can use it to grow my wealth and become wealthier. It is a decision that you must have to do. And after making that decision, you must have to enforce it. If you want a healthier relationship, you must limit time with those people who constantly disrespect you. Structure turns your decision into a daily behavior, so that every day you have your standards in front of you, you've written them down somewhere, you act in accordance to them, and with that, you will see that you will create a new identity for yourself. So let's tie this whole thing together. Standards will help you do three powerful things in your life. Number one is that it will stabilize your emotions. Number two is that it will help you protect your time and your energy. And number three is that it will align your daily action to look like the future that you desire. A lot of us are acting in contrast to the future that we are desirous of, and because of that, it brings a lot of frustration into our lives. Without standards, life becomes reactive. But when you have standards installed in your life, life becomes intentional. And over time, people will begin to notice something about you. Wow, he's now calmer. Now he's more focused. I can even see it, that he's now more respected. Not because you demanded the respect, but because standards will quietly redefine how people interact with you. So, in conclusion, this day, your future will not be decided by your wishes. It will actually be decided by the standards that you set, one, and that you enforce, two. Those two things must happen. You can't just set the standard and not enforce them. And you cannot enforce a standard that you have not set. So, because wishes are emotional, that's why you don't live your life based on wishes. You live them based on standard, because standards are operational. And when your standards rise, you will realize that after some time, your identity would rise. And then you will see that your stability has also risen, because you will become more stable. And in no time, you will see that you will rise into that future that you desire. I hope you got value today. It has been Ace with Oqui, the Wealth Maestro. So glad you were able to join me today. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms as we continue to explore to find ways to continue to achieve clear excellence in our lives. God bless you.